Every day, your brain processes a constant barrage of notifications, social obligations, and external opinions. We live in a default state of noise. When someone actively steps back from that exhausting social loop, people tend to get suspicious. The immediate assumption is usually that they dislike others, or that there is some sort of emotional distress keeping them away from the crowd. We routinely equate physical isolation with the painful emotional state of loneliness, creating a powerful social stigma against simply sitting in silence. Yet, if you look at the most brilliant thinkers in history, they actively chased the exact isolation that modern society fears. Nikola Tesla spent countless hours locked away in his laboratory, relying entirely on solitary work to design electrical systems that operate the modern world. Albert Einstein was equally protective of his quiet time, frequently pointing to his solitary hours as a requirement for his work in physics. Even Isaac Newton developed his core laws of motion while intentionally isolating himself from academic crowds. If spending time alone is supposedly detrimental to our well-being, we have to ask why it serves as the common denominator for humanity's greatest intellectual leaps. Psychologists separate these mental states very clearly. Loneliness is a condition of emotional deficit, the painful feeling that you are disconnected and lack support. Deliberate solitude is different. It is an active choice to spend time with yourself, treated as a valuable resource rather than a missing piece. While feeling lonely drains your mental reserves, choosing to be alone actually restores your cognitive energy. Untangling that distinction is the first step to accessing the brain's hidden creative potential. This diagram illustrates what happens to your processing power when you remove social interaction. When you step away from external stimuli, a massive cognitive load shuts down. Your brain no longer has to monitor social cues or evaluate opinions. It drops its defensive posture. Freed from those external demands, all of that mental processing power flips inward. It begins scanning through dormant information, pulling up old memories, and bridging gaps between concepts that seemed unrelated just hours earlier. This internal alignment is the exact moment an abstract thought transforms into a concrete solution. Deep, innovative thinking relies mechanically on these quiet spaces, where the mind is left alone to wander. You cannot crowdsource that level of internal connection. Because this internal processing is so delicate, maintaining it requires a specific approach to the outside world. Every casual interaction requires the brain to switch back into that reactive, monitoring mode we discussed. To minimize this constant switching, creative minds often bypass wide social networks. Instead, they choose a small number of trusted, low-friction relationships. This extreme selectivity is a necessary tactic to protect their cognitive bandwidth from unnecessary noise. By prioritizing quality over quantity in their relationships, they ensure they have the energy required for deep thinking. So, if you prefer skipping crowded events to stay home and focus on a project, it is an indicator of a healthy, functioning mind. The next time someone questions your solitary habits, you don't need to apologize for stepping away. You are simply providing your brain with the unstructured, quiet space it biologically requires to process information and grow. Silence is never truly empty. It is the active incubator where your greatest ideas are waiting to be born.